Welcome back to The Explainer. Okay, today we're unpacking an absolutely epic tale of magic, intense family rivalries, and of course, ultimate revenge. We're diving deep into the story of Jin Runcandle. It is a journey that perfectly maps the evolution of a total outcast into a literal global powerhouse. So let's just jump right into this incredible story. Imagine this for a second. You're born into the strongest swordsmanship family in the entire empire, but you're deemed a completely talentless loser. That was Jin Runcandle's first life. He faced constant mockery from his brothers, trained his absolute heart out with zero results, and was eventually banished at age 25. But right after discovering a massive secret about his true potential, he dies in a sudden collapse. No way, right? Well, miraculously, he wakes up as a baby on the exact day of his sword selection ceremony. Talk about a second chance. But this time around, everything is completely different. Because right before he died, Jin learned two absolutely crucial things. First, he actually had an insane hidden talent for magic, a practice his sword-obsessed family strictly banned. And second, he had been living under a nasty curse that actively suppressed his sword skills his entire life. Now, armed with this knowledge and a brand new contract with the shadow god Soldret, Jin enters his second life not as a helpless victim, but as a total prodigy. With his new powers unlocked, Jin's progression is, well, terrifyingly fast. At just age 1, he confidently selects the legendary Barasada sword. By age 7, he decides to stop holding back and absolutely pulverizes his older bully brothers, the Tona twins, literally leaving them out in a storm to learn a brutal lesson. He's ruthlessly carving out his place in the clan while secretly mastering his new powers at the remote Storm Castle. All this rapid growth leads to a super high-stakes private meeting with his father, Patriarch Chiron, who is essentially a demigod of the sword. Jin takes a massive gamble here. He reveals his use of Shadow Force, this dark, ancient power granted by Soldret. Now the Patriarch is stunned because this power was previously wielded only by the clan's founding father. Jin boldly declares he's going to use this power not for the clan, but for himself. And surprisingly, his father actually respects the ambition. Now, Jin's greatest advantage comes from a truly shocking discovery. After tricking his brothers into digging a tunnel for him, Jin shatters a secret wall and uncovers the clan's hidden library. But the real prize? He awakens Murakan, the legendary dark dragon. This is a dragon who fought the first patriarch 1,000 years ago and is bound to the shadow god. He becomes Jin's magic tutor, his protector, and ironically, a hilarious companion who frequently disguises himself as a very grumpy house cat. You see, as Patriarch Chiron makes incredibly clear, the Runcandle family is defined by pure, lethal competition. Only the strong survive. Weakness is met with banishment, or worse, death. Jin's new mindset fully embraces this cutthroat reality. He realizes that to survive the inevitable assassination attempts from his siblings, he has to outsmart and outbrutalize them at literally every single turn. Which brings us to age 10. The time has finally come for Jin to leave the safety of Storm Castle and head over to the family's main estate. But the brutal reality of his family's politics strikes right away. Out of nowhere, his carriage is ambushed by 20 enemies, led by imposters posing as elite 7-star knights. This ambush formally introduces the primary antagonists of our story, the Zippel clan. They're a rival family of supreme sorcerers who, 1,000 years ago, forced the Runcandles to ban magic entirely. They are the mortal enemies. But these assassins severely underestimate Jin's loyal maid, Gilly. She unleashes blinding speed and just effortlessly dispatches the attackers, proving early on that Jin has fiercely loyal, incredibly deadly allies right in his corner. Surviving the ambush, Jin arrives at the Garden of Swords. Fast forward through a few years of intense, secretive training, and Jin is just dominating. He's using advanced meditation techniques, like the mind's eye, to completely outmaneuver much older cadets. By age 15, he's officially promoted to a 3-star knight, effortlessly clearing physical and mental hurdles that would stop standard cadets completely in their tracks. Of course, Jin's monstrous growth doesn't go unnoticed. It actually catches the attention of his eldest sister, Luna. She's the strongest sibling who gave up her claim to the throne. She steps in to protect him and even gifts him Bradamanti, the legendary sword of the first patriarch. For Jin, who suffered total isolation in his first life, Realizing someone as powerful as Luna actually has his back is a huge, game-changing turning point. But hey, the training never stops. Jin's Uncle Zed introduces him to the Singing Stones. Now, these aren't just rocks. They're secret training steel balls that violently explode if struck with the wrong amount of aura. It's a terrifying exercise meant to test the pure Renkandel bloodline. But thanks to his heightened senses and shadow force, Jin masters this faster than anyone in history. He blows right past his siblings, proving his aura control is just completely unmatched. And this mastery is instantly put to the test when Jin is assigned his very first official cadet mission. It's supposed to be a basic border scouting run, but his team is unexpectedly ambushed by the Kinzello terrorist faction, and a fellow cadet, Mesa, gets kidnapped. Refusing to wait around for backup, Jin goes totally rogue. He flawlessly blends his forbidden magic with his run-to-candle swordplay and systematically wipes out the entire terrorist base solo. But right as he rescues Misa, Jin hits a seemingly impossible wall. He is cornered by Quajujito Truca, a monstrous white werewolf. To put that into perspective, these beasts are literally born with the power to slaughter fully trained 6-star knights. His standard magic and sword skills are just bouncing right off this creature. He has to dig deeper than he ever has before. So, to survive, Jin does the unthinkable. He channels lethal amounts of shadow force directly into his new blade, triggering a massive shadow force overload. It is this cinematic, blinding explosion of dark energy. Bradamante finally awakens, and with one desperate, overwhelmingly powerful strike, Jin slices the werewolf wide open. The magical backlash nearly destroys his mind, but he pushes through the pain and emerges victorious.
This victory absolutely shatters the clan's established power scale. I mean, an average cadet at this stage is a 3-star warrior. By defeating a white werewolf, Jin mathematically proves he's already operating at the level of a 5-star knight. He isn't just surviving his intermediate classes, he is completely breaking the entire hierarchy of the clan.
Naturally, his manipulative older sisters, Mun and Anne, feel incredibly threatened by his rise. They scheme to have him killed by sending him on a literal suicide mission to the lawless Mammoth Zone to steal a dangerous relic. But Jin, he flips the script entirely. He drugs the traitors assigned to his team, infiltrates the Zippel warehouse all by himself, secures the relics, and turns their deadly trap into a massive personal triumph. However, what he finds inside that warehouse is truly horrifying. The Zippel clan isn't just hoarding magical relics, they're committing unspeakable atrocities. He uncovers forbidden biological golems. These are innocent humans that the Zippels have brutally mutated into mindless monsters. Disgusted, Jin completely destroys the facility with a terrifying mix of shadow and fire magic. He leaves no trace behind except for the evidence of the Zippels' twisted human experiments. Back home, Jin's continuous string of impossible successes earns him another rare audience with his father. Seeing his son's monstrous potential, Chiron makes a pivotal decision. He grants Jin the freedom to leave the clan as a reserve flag bearer. But here's the catch. Jin has exactly 5 years. 5 years to travel the world, face global threats, and return to either earn the family's absolute recognition or offer his own terms to the clan. So Jin sets off, and his global journey leads him straight to the ancient Kalan ruins. Here, the Zippels are desperately trying to unearth an artifact capable of mass-producing magical armies. Jin, fully embracing his true identity as a magic swordsman, teams up with the Dark Dragon Moroccan and the ruler of the Secret Palace. Together, they end up in a colossal, all-out showdown against the Zippel clan's elite White Knight battalion. This battle is absolute chaos. First, Jin brutally outmaneuvers Myron Zippel, taking full advantage of his unique immunity to magical counterflow. Then, as the White Knight fleet descends, Talaris and Murakan hold the line, literally slapping battleship blasts away with their bare hands. Out of pure desperation, the Zippels fire a world-ending magic cannon, but Jin uses his shadow force to miraculously cut through the blast, surviving the impossible, securing the artifact, and protecting the innocent Cologne survivors. The aftermath of this battle changes the global landscape forever. The Zippel's horrific genocide in Cologne is exposed to the entire world by brave reporters. High-ranking Zippel elites are left dead. And Jin, he's now recognized globally not just as a standard Run-Candel knight, but as a terrifyingly capable magic swordsman. His actions have single-handedly shifted the balance of power, pushing the entire world to the brink of a massive war between magic and swords. But does Jin take a break? Of course not. He immediately pivots to hunting down the corrupt network that abused him in his past life. Working with his informant, Jet, They trace a highly specific poison being used to systematically execute the surviving witnesses of a horrific secret orphanage. It turns into this fast-paced, dark race against time. They're following a trail of brutalized bodies, desperately trying to intercept the magic-wielding assassins before they can reach their final target. They finally manage to beat the killers to the last hideout, rescuing the final innocent survivor just in time. But then we get this incredibly twisted realization. The terrifying assassins hunting these people down, they aren't outside mercenaries. They are Varys and Kuzan. They are top-tier survivors raised in the exact same brutal orphanage, brainwashed to eliminate their own brothers and sisters just to protect the dark secrets of the elite nobles pulling the strings.
Jin is completely stunned. He is now standing face-to-face with two insanely fast, highly trained magic assassins who view his head as their ultimate prize. So what do you think? Can a 15-year-old magic swordsman overcome the deadliest killers an underground syndicate has ever produced? The stakes have literally never been higher. You absolutely will not want to miss how this explosive showdown unfolds in our next explainer. Thank you so much for learning with us, and we'll see you next time.